Good everyone, and welcome to this video, and today we have a review on the Hawk-III, and also a little bit of, well, as you can probably tell, a bit of a microphone change. Now, I haven't upgraded the microphone before anyone starts. This is my same old mic. It is a HyperX Cloud 2 headset, and it's been plagued from ever since I got it to have a low microphone setting, and I've never really worked out why. But now I have. Apparently, there was some firmware that HyperX didn't release until a couple of months after this model of microphone was made, that apparently it would not allow itself to be upgraded in Windows settings, and that was what was causing our low volume, so for the videos and stuff. And another thing was also that the microphone itself was actually turned away from my mouth. Obviously, as you may have noticed, I've turned the microphone around, I've bumped up the microphone setting. So if you do want to see an upgrade, I'll still upgrade, but I think we should be good for now. Anyway, obviously today we're reviewing the Hawk-III, and well, I've had a barrel of laughs with this thing ever since I got it. I haven't actually finished the Mark of Distinction on it simply because I didn't want to waste this battle. Just as a note, this video will be coming out before future videos get their microphone updates. So, in other words, they won't have the microphone volume that we have now. I think it will run for quite a couple of days, to be honest, possibly weeks, from what I can work out in my backlog at the moment. But I'll still, every once in a while, I'll push back a video just so I can, shall we say, reimburse you with a thought of this microphone, and just to see if you think it's worthy enough to upgrade, and we could put the Patreon money towards maybe a new computer, or do you want to see, well, still see a new microphone? Because personally, I love this headset and I don't really want to get rid of it now. Do apologize about that. I've been all over the place this morning. I've been trying to fix this bloody microphone. I've been fixing War Thunder. I've been fixing my UBS, and I've been fixing problems that my friends have been having. So I'm all over the place. I do apologise. So, Hawk-III. This thing's a barrel of laughs. Two 30 cal machine guns, four 100-pounder bombs, and one 500-pounder. This plane is probably one of my favourite planes that I've flown in a while. Now, I've been looking online, and apparently this thing was a dive bomber, not a fighter. But to be honest, I fly this thing how I do my HS-123. I go in full retard, go bomber base if the team can't finish it off, and then I go ground pounding, or if I need to, I go fighter mode. And that's what you're going to see in today's battle briefly until I have to go fighter mode, as you will see. Don't worry, the Hawk gets rewarded with a couple of ground targets anyway, because I'm nice like that. But in today's battle, I wasn't expecting to win this fight. I'm going to be brutally honest, and to be honest, I thought I was going to lose. My team gets pretty much cut to pieces, but the enemy team also gets cut to pieces. But as I rush into saving I-16, he gets bounced by two Key 43 Oscars. Let me tell you that much, this is going to be a good fight, and you will see exactly my thought process, and I'll tell you what I was thinking at the time when we come to the battle. But once this plane comes out for CBT, 250 Golden Eagles, or guys who do what they usually do and let you get it for free, get this plane. I'm not even joking, this plane is worthy of your time. It turns well, as you saw in the first flight. It dives really well. It climbs pretty decently. The bomb load is good. The guns are a bit crap, but there's nothing much you can do about that. And this thing's actually surprisingly tanky. I've not been shot down once so far. And well, I have got the H81 review that I did before I adjusted my microphone settings, and I forgot to show the stats because I've been all over the place this morning. So 18 air kills, 63 ground targets, 2 death. Would have been a clean slate if it wasn't for a retarded teammate in a battle with the digital time traveler who did fuck all, let's just say that, and I was pissed. Apparently, Short Boss noticed my anger and he was freaking laughing, but I had every right to be pissed off. But anyway, let's jump into the battle and let's see how the update to the sound, as in the in-game sound, because I've had to double that, Now that I've got, obviously, my settings in the microphone, I've now had to bump up the sound of the in-game volume. So let's see how that goes. Obviously, this is going to be a complete test. So if there's anything wrong and I need to change anything, please do let me know. But I think this is a much better quality of, shall we say, the quality of how this should be. So, obviously you can see I'm fully loaded for bear. I've got the 4 100-pounders on board and the 500-pounder. And I'm hoping that this goes reasonably well. Last time I did microphone settings this high was when I first started. It wasn't long after I got the headset as well. Then obviously I cranked it up in OBS and everything. So I'm hoping this goes a little well. So straight off the bat, the landing gear takes about 53 seconds, roughly, to retract. That's pretty much the only bad thing I can see about this plane. With the landing gear taking the piss, that's really the only bad thing I've been able to find about this plane. And the weak guns. I mean, the guns you can't really help. It's low tier. You're not going to get kick-ass firepower unless you're Russian. And it goes from there. And it's just going to go from there with this battle. Obviously, my team, they're doing okay so far. I mean, they've just shot down a H6K 4, which didn't get to drop its bombs. Which, I mean, yeah, it's a CW21, but at the same time, I'd let him drop his bombs. I mean, he might be spading that thing for all we know. And if I see a bomber, I tend to let them drop their bombs before I kill them. It's just so they can at least get some points on the board, and then they can go from there. Obviously, I'll show the Hawk-III stats at the end, but this battle was something to remember. Now, at this point, I was actually debating returning to base. I was thinking, okay, could I maybe go back to base? Because obviously the team's not looking so hot at the moment. They're too busy intercepting bombers and heavy fighters, rather than dealing with the fighters that actually matter. Now, we have had a AR-2, I think it was, drop on this left-hand base, so I thought, okay, I'll finish it off. I thought, I've got the bomb load for it, I can finish it off, and we can go from there. So, let's give it a go. But yeah, like I say, this may come out, well, it'll come out after the first flight of the Hawk. It doesn't make sense to do the review and then the flipping first flight, does it? But I thought today I'll sit down, crank out something to see if I can make this microphone volume work. Obviously, in the headset, this thing sounds like how I would play War Thunder, because I play War Thunder at about 47 volume. If I had it 100, I'd be deaf, but I play at about 50 volume with the headset on. And when it comes to things like tanks, I tend to have the enemy engine volume a bit higher, because that way I can hear them better. When it comes to being outside of War Thunder, so like not with the headset on, obviously I'm not going to unplug it because that would ruin the video, but I tend to have it a little bit higher, so about 50 to 55. So I've dropped the 100-pounders there. I think that's good enough. And it was, so that is a base kill. Obviously, the last little bit was done by the base burning out. That's just a thing that Gaijin have included so that bombers don't have to use as many bombs, which I am all in favour for, let me tell you that much. Now, at this point, I wasn't really sure where my team had gone. For the most part, most of the fighters that we had gone back to base. Now, I've said P-66 Vanguard has just crashed due to a dead engine. And these Ki-43s, which you're going to see in a moment... And what the hell was that? I just saw what looked like the 500-pounder bomb fly off to the right. If you saw that, please do let me know. Because that was actually pretty funny. I'm fairly certain that was a 500-pounder. But at this point, you can see Kamikaze Rambo, which is a pretty sick-ass name. He's going in like a kamikaze to attack these Japanese fighters. So he kills the A5M, and now he's got 2 Oscars to deal with, and the Oscars can run rings around an ice shack. I don't care what anyone says, an ice shack is not going to win against a Key 43 that's flown well. So he shoots down one of them. However, Kamikaze Rambo is going to get himself in a tight situation. He is not going to survive it. I'm on the way to come and help him. Obviously, I'm wanting to gain altitude. I may be in a biplane, but this thing can still be matched by Key 43s in the turn if the Key 43 has good enough speed behind it. So, unfortunately, Kamikaze Rambo dies about 2 miles away from where I am, so I couldn't help him. And it's at this point both Key 43s must have smelt blood in the water like bloody sharks, and they're coming straight up for a bit of a hello. Obviously, Killer Termite here, I think he was like level 70 odd. And he just sticks his nose up, and he's coming right for me. I do my classic evasion tactic, and I dive down to push him down. This is the intention. I wanted to keep these guys under control. So I fire a good burst, and I pull up. Obviously, Nemesis 2, he's the other pilot. I think he was on level 40 to 50. And you can see I've got my work cut out for me. So I'm pulling them both vertical. I'm pushing my Hawk as hard as I can. They're looping over. And I'm just thinking, I'm in a bad spot, I'm in a bad spot. I've got to at least cripple one of them. And I made the right decision. I go for Nemesis. I didn't know at the time he was the more experienced pilot, but I go for him. I put a heck of a long burst into him, and I turn into him. Well, I turn into, I think it's Killer Termite, yes. So now Nemesis is out of the fight. He's going to crash very shortly. And I'm holding my own here. I'm pushing this plane as hard as I can. Because obviously there's 2 Oscars, only one of me. And, well, the Oscar is actually pretty dang maneuverable. So at this point, I break off Termite for a brief moment just to fire a quick burst into Nemesis to make sure he goes down. Dodge out the way. And you can see I'm pushing my plane as hard as I can. I'm weaping the bollocks off this thing. And obviously we're at low speed fights where the Key 43 can still match a biplane. Nemesis goes down for my first kill. And now it's getting into the stall fight. I didn't know what this plane was capable of in a stall. I'd never really taken it into a stall fight. The Key 43 obviously has got the 50 cals. He puts a shot into my tail, but that's not going to kill a Hawk. The Hawk is pretty durable for the most part. And we're both pushing our planes as hard as we can. We're trying to fight each other here. We're both tossing and turning. We're both using our elevators. We're both rolling. We're both using our throttle. We both knew exactly what to do here. And this is where the stall fight begins. And you can see we're both throttling. Obviously, the Key 43's engine is louder than mine, so you will be able to hit the Key 43 instead of my engine. But I can assure you, we were both whipping the bollocks off our planes. And at this point, I'm just hoping he stalls, or at least I can get it just enough airspeed so that I can drop in behind him, and there's nothing he can do. Of course, the one thing about a biplane, over a monoplane, no matter how much lift that Key 43 has, this little guy's always going to have more. And I'm able to just kick the rudder and get in behind him. However, this guy knows exactly what to do, so he puts it into a diving spiral. And the Hawk is following him through every maneuver. We're right on the ragged edge of both our planes' performance, but at this point, Killer Termite knew the game was up. He tries one last desperate attempt. He's throttling back, trying to force me to overshoot. I wasn't going to fall for that trick twice. I throttle back here just so I can stall in behind him. And Killer Termite knew the game was up. Second kill. That was a dogfight, wasn't it? I had to hold my own for around about 2.5 minutes. But that was probably one of the most epic dogfights that I've had in a while. Unfortunately, none of the pilots stuck around for a little chat. That would have been nice. I'd love to hear both their opinions. But Killer Termite 12 and Nemesis 2, great fight there, lads. 2-on-1, but at the end of the day, I just had the better luck on my side, unfortunately. I'm fairly certain if you two would have flown it a little bit differently, or if you was on comms, you probably would have kicked my ass and I would have shot down at least one of you. But hey ho, it's just how the crow flies. I even put in chat I was close to losing that fight. You saw how close I was to losing this fight, and I was very worried I was actually going to lose. But I fought back, and there's one thing about me, and that is never surrender. The only time I surrender really in a war thunder game is if I have no chance. But if it's a 2-on-1 fight, I can assure you I'm taking at least one of you with me. If not both. But at this point, I thought, right, Hawk-III, you've earned this. Let's go for some ground targets for the machine guns. Obviously, 30 cal machine guns, they take quite a bit of ammunition to kill a ground target, but they're well worth it. They get the job done at least. Personally, I'd love a 50 and a 30, but we'll gloss over that fight, or that argument. Don't know if the Hawk-IIIs that were sent to China did have 50 cal. I think they just had 30. I don't actually know. I ain't done much research into this plane. So, obviously at this point I'm just ground pounding, and the Ki-21 bomber on the enemy team is actually going to J out in just a moment. Obviously I'm not want to waste too much ammo on these ground targets, they're only artillery pieces. But you can understand my mentality at the time. But yeah, that's the end of the battle, and obviously the end of this review. So what did I think of the Hawk-III? As you saw, it's absolutely awesome. It can pretty much out dogfight anything you see. You can even out dogfight Chikers, as I showed in the first flight. And also, I hope you enjoy the new microphone settings. Let me know if you still want to see an upgrade, or if you'd rather the Patreon money go towards a different thing, such as a new computer or something like that. Let me know. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the Hawk-III, and I will see you all on the next one.